Susie comes in and says, I'm pregnant and I'm leaving. Someone goes, I know somebody. And your first question, are they nice? Are they a good person? Yeah, they're lovely. So you get them in and you're thinking, wow, this is going to save me recruiters. This is going to save me running interviews, all of the above. So Susie comes in and we have a chat and she says, oh yeah, I've done a lot of sales. I love picking up the phone. Susie seems okay. So we start her. Lunchtime, first day, you walk past her cubicle and you hear her on the phone and you can just tell. You just go, this is not going to work. So then what we do is we say, I need to train her. I'll fix it. I'll turn a sales ear into a silk purse. So we start spending more time with her. And time goes on, and after 3 months, she's late for everything, being argumentative, oppositional, hasn't taken a listing, got nothing on the pipeline. So we think, this is crazy, we need to move her on. We're just about to move her on. We say, can you come and see me? She goes, yes, I need to see you because I've got a listing coming. Who's the listing? Oh, it's my auntie. Yeah, she's definitely going to list with me. 2 months later, no auntie, no listing, and you finally move them on. The cost is very clear. LJ Hilker did an exercise years ago that the opportunity cost of having somebody good in that position, it could be $200,000-300,000 that you're wasting. The business world more and more is becoming about POT, P-O-T, the pursuit of talent. And as we're videoing this, it's at a time when AI is cream of the crop, and these young people, these young AI engineers are being offered literally hundreds of millions of dollars to leave Google, to leave ChatGPT, to leave Grok, and go and work for Facebook or Instagram or somebody. It's the pursuit of talent. If you want to do something, go find someone who's done it, rip them out of there, pay them more, and get them to do it for you. Our business is not that much different. Some companies are incredibly successful because they are good at recruiting. They go after talent. They go after people that with like-minded ideas that want to work in a similar environment. They put them all together and the money just drops out the bottom. I love telling a story about Mark Kentwell. I'm halfway through this module in strategic leadership and we're doing the exercises. He just stood up and said, I have to go. I said, what are you talking about you have to go? Where are you going? He said, I need to go make some calls. I want to go make some calls. One of the people that he called, not from the seminar, but subsequently, was a guy called George Rafferty. George Rafferty was doing $1 million. And when he rang George Rafferty said, well, you must be psychic. I'm leaving. I want to leave. He left them, went to 1.8 million. First month out, he did 28 listings. You think that doesn't change the shape of a business? So pursuit of talent is massive. In its simplest form, there's only two ways. You're either attracting them or you're growing them from new. I love telling the story about a fabulous manager in New Zealand. He's got something like 150 salespeople working for him. We'd be at a restaurant and somebody would be doing a really good job of looking after us. And he would simply lean back and say, listen, why are you here working? What are you on, $30 an hour, $40 an hour? Why don't you come talk to me about a career in real estate? And he'd hand them his card. He was constantly recruiting. It can't be knee-jerk. I think it should be in your diary. I think you should have 2 hours on a Wednesday, 2 hours on a Friday where you're sitting just ringing other salespeople, keeping up with the pipeline of people who have approached you, working out when your next new intake's going to be and so on. In terms of attracting them, what the first thing you do if you're a smaller agency is to become more successful. Now, what do I mean by this? And don't underestimate what I'm saying. I have seen so many people come to my strategic leadership program, leave that, put in place this as a strategy, which is your sales must go through the roof. If you're doing 600 grand, you need to go to 1.5 million. They see the signboards, they see the advertising, they see the auction. You need to train the people you've got with you, coach them, get them fired up. You need to come to strategic leadership and go through the exercise where we figure out what are your strategies for growth in your area. And there'll be 4. 1 is you have more property management than anybody else. 2 is you have more salespeople than anyone else. 3, you win the marketing war. And 4, you win the attitude war. Those 4 things are what you need to excel at. When you excel at those, when you make that phone call to say, have you ever thought about coming to work in this area? When you make that phone call, they're looking at you going, wow, these people are doing something amazing. I should listen. So first thing for recruiting is your sales go from 600 to 1.5. So attracting them, it starts with that. Growing them is entirely different. One of the first things you need to do, I learned off Steve Brown. And what he said is before you start hiring, you need to weed the garden. You need to get rid of the people that shouldn't be there. And what I find is when I talk about this as strategic leadership, everyone starts looking at each other, especially if two partners, two directors are there in the seminar. And they look at each other and go, yeah, that's us. And one of the things that we'll do in a minute is we'll figure out how many you need, but firstly, how many shouldn't be there. You need to replace non-performers. Most of you already know whether someone's going to make it or not. If they're not going to make it, why are they there? Why waste another day? Stop giving them any sort of hand in terms of handing them listings. You're just giving money away and they're not going to make it anyway. There's a massive cost of hanging on to them. And one of the biggest costs is the fact that if you're using money as an investment at the bottom end of your team, let's take the last three of your team, you're paying $5,000 a month to have them there. You're investing $15,000 a month to grow new people. You can't go to 20 or 25 or 30. It'll put you broke. So this 15 becomes very precious. They're either heading towards being self-sufficient and making enough money to cover themselves, in which case we can go again, or they're not. And if they're not, they're just going to get deeper and deeper and deeper into trouble. Now, somebody asked me the other day, how long do you keep a new salesperson? Let me give you my answer to that. Let's say you take on 2 salespeople, same time, brand new. So we take them both on. After 3 months, neither of them has a listing. However, one of them is being belligerent, oppositional, being late to everything, dresses like crap, doesn't want to do anything, not making the calls, not putting stuff on the CRM. They're just a pain in the ass. Fire them. They're not going to make it. The other one is dressing brilliantly, first there for training, role-playing their asses off, trying, making calls, doing the work, everything's flowing for them. Keep them. They will get there in the end. But don't keep them both. That's insanity. So that's how long I would keep them. If they're doing the right thing, if Caliper said they're a match for this industry, they will get there. So hang on to that one. But the other one is not going to get there. Let them go down the road if they want to try and make it somewhere else. It's not going to happen. Do you know that when you get that person in and say, it's over, I'm not prepared to keep investing, it's not working, you watch, their shoulders will drop, they'll say, I thought so. You go, what? Yeah, I knew 3, 4, 5 months ago that it wasn't really working. And then you're all so worried because of your algorithm as to where they're going to go and you're hurting somebody, that when you say, so what are you going to do? They go, yeah, no, I know. I'm going to go back to Sydney and work in my dad's cafe. They already know where they're going. So stop it. You got to churn and burn till you get the ones you want. And if you've got 3 people that are working for you, you've done your best. You've pulled them in. You've trained them. You're still training them. You've given it your best shot. 2 out of the 3 are on their way. This one's just not going to make it. Then don't do it to yourself. You need that spot. Move them on nicely. You don't have to be, I'm being facetious, but you don't have to be horrible about it. Move them on. Say sorry. We thought it could work, but it hasn't. Now you've got $5,000 to spend on a new one. Go recruiting. That's how this works. Keep moving. You're moving way too slow on this. I've just had one person that has come on coaching now. They had a Chinese dude with them for 2 years, never took a listing, just couldn't get there. And it was within a month that I said, if they're not gone next week, you're off coaching. They moved them on, and already things are lifting. These people put a dampener on everything. Some people believe that if you have only got 3 salespeople, and I'm telling you to move 2 on because they're not going to make it, you'll be down to 1. You'll make more money. Let me tell you why. Of the 3 salespeople, the 2 of them, they're useless. They stay in the office. They're not door knocking. They're not making phone calls. They're not doing anything. They sit in the office and they wait. And they get the good inquiry because you and the other salesperson are out in the field. So these two morons end up getting the good inquiry and they waste it because they don't know what they're doing. When you cull them, when they're gone, you have to get that inquiry and you'll make more money. It really is that simple. There's only two ways to grow your top line. That is through your existing salespeople or adding more. What else is there? There's nothing. You get more out of this team or you add more people. That's it. That's all you got. Now, the exercise I want you to do is in raising the bar. And it is you write down your salespeople, what they did last year. And you know roughly 300, 250, 600. Then on the right-hand side, you go back down and you say, what are they likely to do this year? Knowing what I know about them. Now, let me tell you something. It's highly unlikely that the person that's doing 500,000 is going to go straight to 1 million unless you can see they're doing the work. Unless they've taken on a coach, unless they've taken on a PA, unless they're talking strategy, unless they've got reasons to go to 1 million, it's not going to happen. So they're doing 500. They've been doing 500 for the last 4 years. Guess what their figure is for next year? 500. Put it down. Now you will go down this list and you'll find that somebody's about to have a baby, so they're going to go. Somebody else is going to go from 500 to 1 million because they're doing all the right things. Put it down. Somebody else you know is leaving in March. Take them off. You'll do all this. You'll find that the 2 million that you did last year looks like 2.2 this year. Now that's fine if that's enough for you. But if it's not enough for you, then you need to get on and consciously strategize around growing this thing. And you're not going to get it out of your existing. We've just done that exercise. You're not going to get 4 million. The only way you're going to get to 5 is to grow that business. Get your head around this. The next exercise in raising the bar, and that I want you to do now that we've discovered that we're not going to get more than a 10%, 20% increase out of our existing sales team, then I want to work out how many salespeople we need to get to that 5 million, to get to our intention. So you've got 8 salespeople doing $2 million. We look at the opportunity, which is 5. We look at your opposition. You're number 2. You've got 8 salespeople. Your opposition have got 20. They are miles away from you. That gives you some indication where you need to go here. So then we look at how many of your 8 need to go. Then I want you to look at what do I want to grow my sales team to eventually. And I want to be doing $5 million, maybe even 6. If I've got 8 salespeople now, I can tell you that if you're doing 2.2 with 8, you don't need 16 to do 4.4. You need more than that. It's the law of diminishing returns. So I'm telling you, you need something like 20 plus salespeople to do 5 million. So we need from 8, let's just say to 21. From 8 to 21 is 13. We know that 2 need to be moved on. There is a circle on that page on raising the bar on that page. I want you to divide the circle vertically. On the left-hand side, how many salespeople do you need to grow to? 21, whatever that number is. On the right-hand side, so how many do we need in the next 12 months? And this is where you say, in the next 12 months, I want to grow to 12. So I want to go from 8 to 12. But there's another thing that you need to take into account. So I need to go from 8 to 12 minus the 2 I'm going to move on and minus those that don't make it. So 8 to 12 is 4. 2 of them are going to be gone. So we're now 6 to 12. So now we're 6. And when I take 6 people on, I'm using RTI's recruiting system. So out of 6 on, for me to get 6 experienced salespeople up and running, I will probably need to take 10 on. So now, what looked like 4, maybe 4 or 5, it's actually 10. You need 10 people in the next 12 months to start heading towards your intention. What this does is changes your thinking. when I do this in seminar, when we're standing in strategic leadership, and I ask for everyone to put up on fingers how many salespeople they need, I'm telling you, it's 10, it's 15, it's 4, it's 5. If I've got 40 people in the room as strategic leadership, we will need 200 new salespeople. If those 40 people are left to their own devices, we won't take on 200. We'll be lucky if we take on 50. That's what's wrong with the strategic growth of your business. You have to get on the front foot for this. You have to get aggressive about growing it, either attracting them from other offices or actually taking them on from you. And if you're taking them on from you, you decide as a board, decide as directors or yourself, you decide how much you're prepared to invest each month in new people, because it's $5,000 a month. If you're making $1 million a year, you can do 2. I say you do 2. That's 120,000. You're not going to lose the whole thing because you're going to be taking on at a higher level and you're going to get a return much quicker. So 120 grand, are you prepared to invest 10% into growing your business? Yes. Beautiful. Those 2 become precious. We take them both on. One goes, the other one goes this way. Another one on, goes this way. Now we take on another 2. That's how it's got to be. Aggressive, front foot, let's go. I think there's 5 ways you can build your sales team. The first one is you approach existing agents with other companies, because everybody's not happy where they are. We think that's the case, but it's just not true. So we need to be on the front foot and making the calls. The second way is we approach outsiders outside of the existing industry, people who we know are successful in business. You get sold a car, Mercedes-Benz, by a brilliant salesperson. They don't earn what they used to. Car dealers no longer earn what they used to, car salespeople. So you get sold the car and you like the way this woman works. You say, hey, why don't you come talk to me tomorrow about working in real estate? So you attract people outside. I think we've got to raise the bar. That's why I called the book that. And I love telling the story about, I used to drive Range Rovers. My lawyer was an IP lawyer because I was doing a deal with somebody in London who was buying the rights to my stuff. And I went in to go to my lawyer one time and I said, where's Tony? And they said, oh, he's left. He's left the law firm. And I said, what do you mean he's left the law firm? He's got wife and kids in Dunedin. Where's he gone? And they said he's become a car salesman. And I nearly fell over on the spot. I said, who for? And they said, Range Rover. Next time I took my Range Rover in, he was up on the balcony, up in the office. And it turns out he'd bought into this car dealership, Range Rover. And I said, what are you doing? You're an IP lawyer. And he said, I've been a frustrated salesperson my whole life. Now, I've said this at Strategic Leadership. I've actually said, who would think of inviting their lawyer into real estate? And this woman said, I have, and he's sitting right here. Raise the bar. Start thinking about who should be working with you. Yeah? In terms of the whole family thing, I had someone the other day say, the person that should be working with me is my brother. And I love him dearly, but we've agreed that we don't want to fall out, so we don't go into business together. That's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. So let's go take someone on you don't know, you don't trust, you got no idea about. Let's take them on instead of your brother. That's just ridiculous. So think about who should be working for you right now. They're right in front of you sometimes. Approaching outsiders. We can attract them with advertising. And what I'm going to make available to you is my ads. Your ads suck. I've done ads that basically go after the pain points of people wanting to come into the business or transfer in the business. So I've got 2 sets of ads, one for brand new and one for existing. The pain points for existing is you're not being appreciated where you are. You're doing really well. You're doing really well, but you know there's a better way. For new people, it's aimed at a much higher level. Instead of saying this is your pathway into real estate, what we've got to say is you're already good at sales. You're already doing well. You're making $200,000, $300,000. Come and talk to us about what that looks like in real estate. That's the deal. So we attract them with advertising. The next one, number 4, is they call you. And I've already explained to you that if you double your sales, if you are strategically on the front foot, if you're pushing auction, if you're seen as being different, seen as being successful in your area, they're going to call you. If you've already called them a year ago and have kept in touch with them, then they're going to call you. And I think the last one for me is to have your own team on red alert to find new salespeople. You should have some form of quite high remuneration. If you look at Keller Williams' fastest growing business in the United States, I think they've got 150,000 agents now. They work on the basis that if you bring somebody into Keller Williams, you get 3% of their income for the rest of their career. So you could build up a number of people, leave the industry, and you're still getting income from it. Pretty cool. Worked, apparently. 150,000 people is a lot of people. And I'm asking you to consider taking on one more. So there's basically 5 ways you can use for strategies. I want to give you the script now to approach agents in other offices. And I think the first thing to understand is we look across the street and we think that everybody's happy, that everything's going really, really well across there. We're a mess, but they're just amazing. No. It's not like that. Even directorships are not like that. I've just had a young client, and I'm talking 3 months ago, was working quite happily as a director and shareholder of a business. He's now exited that business. That business has been sold, and he's started his own business. If somebody had called him, they may have had a chance of getting him. He's a $1.5 million agent. So everything's not what it seems. And chances are you make a call and they go, wow, actually, I'm pissed off with my manager. She's doing this, he's doing that. I'll come and talk to you. So make the calls. Now, when you make the calls, get your story right. You need a story. Why are you recruiting? Why are you wanting anybody to come and work for you? So the script goes something like this. It was taught to me by a guy who built 900 office franchise. And that's Harcourt. Steve Collins, love saying his name. He was a mentor. And he taught me this. My team and I have been watching you in the field and seeing the success that you're having. I've stopped selling and we've opened a new office. And I want to capitalize on the good things that we're doing. So we're looking for like-minded people to come and work and just get on with doing more and more business. Is there any chance I can have 10 minutes of your time that we can go have coffee and see if your goals and my goals in any way overlap? So that's all you're going to do. And it's a beautiful script. You're going to get, no, I'm happy where I am. You're going to get, no, I'm happy where I am right now, which is a different answer. You're going to get, well, I'd like to move, but I've actually just got too many listings. You're going to get all sorts of things. You're going to get fuck off. Fine. Hope you're having a great day. Goodbye. Off the list. So what needs to happen here is you need to make a list of every salesperson in your area. You make a list of every salesperson in your area, of every salesperson in the outlying areas beyond your area. Because quite often they're already doing work in your area and they should be working for somebody in there. You're going to make a list of every buyer's agent working for a top agent because quite often those buyer's agents are held back. They're doing a great job. They're ready to go out on their own, but the lead agent is not going to let them go on their own. They hold them back. You ring and say, hey, how you going down there? Scrambling around, after the scraps of the lead agent. And they go, yeah, I'm all right. I'm looking forward to the day that I get out on my own. Why aren't you out on your own? Oh, he doesn't want me to go yet. Come talk to me. Nothing's what it seems. So use that script, learn it. That becomes your tool. Just the same way that we want your salespeople to learn scripts and dialogues when they come to Hot House, my role play 2 days. Same way we want them to do that, I want you to learn this script. Get it right, practice it while you're driving, and then start using it, start making the calls. I want to talk to you now. You're making the calls and you get a response. Someone says, yeah, I'll come and talk to you. I'm thinking about moving. This is like a listing appointment. It's the most important listing appointment you will do. Way more important. It's worth way more than the $30,000 commission, because what you're talking about is potentially getting someone to move to your company and do $500,000 for the next 10 years. Do the maths. It's a very important meeting. So at that meeting, let me tell you, give you some ideas around this. First of all, ask questions. Ask questions. Don't go out too soon and start talking about how cool you are and what you can do for them and all that stuff. You need to not go and start saying, well, the reason you should come work with us, until you know you've got enough ammunition to make it work. So what you're going to do is you're going to say, so how are you down there? How long have you been in the business? What did you do last year? Numbers are a leveler. So what GCI did you do last year? And you always get the same answer. Oh, last year wasn't a very good year for me. Yeah, but what did you do? Oh, I was somewhere between 3 and 4. Well, was it 3 or was it 4? You level them, bring them down and get them off their high horse. I think it was 320. Awesome. That's fantastic. More questions. How easy was that for you? Did you have any time out in the year? Did anything go wrong? Was one of them a big commission? Just get them talking. While they're talking, you listen and acknowledge. Yeah, wow, I really get that. We have to go to sales meetings, and the sales meeting goes for 4 hours. You don't say, mine doesn't. You don't say, I won't do that to you. Don't do that. You go, wow, yeah, that's pretty tough. 4 hours. How do you feel about that? Just keep asking questions. Go deeper and deeper and deeper. Listen and acknowledge. Yeah, I understand why that would be frustrating. But what you're doing is you're totally present to what's going on. Find out what they're not getting and see what it would take. So then you're going to expand their story. So once you've got it and you go, I know this person wants to go into auction. They want their own office. I can give them that. They love auction, but they're not encouraged to do auction. They don't have a PA. Once I've got it, I can look at it and go, I can get this person to $1 million so easy it'll make their head spin. But don't just start blabbermouthing. Don't do that. So what we do is we, first of all, expand our story. Well, let me tell you about what it is we're trying to achieve. I've taken those offices, which means, by the way, I'd have an office large enough for you and the PA you need to take on. Oh, do you think I need a PA? Absolutely. So you start managing, coaching them, talking about what they need, where they need to go. This is how it works. So you're going to go right through and say, look, I think you should be going into auction. You've got that dead right. You need a PA. And by the way, I think I've got someone who would do the job for you. By the way, you come work with me. I'll pay for the first 3 months. Let's make it right. So I'm going to get your PA. I'm going to give you an office. We pay a little bit higher than what you're on now. Not a lot, but it's not the point. What you need to be thinking about is whether you want to go from 50 to 55%, or whether you want to go from 320 to 640 first year, because that's what I've got in mind for you. As soon as you get across, we're going to make a plan and you're off. Yeah, and I know how we're going to do that. I don't sell against my team. You bring in all that beautiful stuff. Don't sell against my team. I'm just going to be committed to getting you towards $1 million. How does that sound to you? Oh, wow, that's incredible. Now, they are interested. Next thing, this is just my suggestions and my experience. Get them to your office as soon as you can. Why? Because they have been sitting in their office talking about your office like it's the frickin' devil's hideout. And when they walk through the door of your office, which they've never done, and walk out the back, do it after hours or something, they walk out the back, they just go, wow, this is the same as ours. This is no different. And then you say, see those offices over there, which one do you reckon you'd look good in? And they go and say, you're telling me I could have this office? Yeah, you can. Be open when you get them in your office. Show them everything. Pull up your CRM, show them the latest ads you're going to do. What do you think they're going to do? Go back to their office and say, I've just been down to ABC Realty and I just saw what ads they're going to use. No, they're not. They're not going to tell anybody. So be open. You know why? Because that's not how it works in their office. No one shows them anything. But you're showing them stuff. Just be open. Then, once they've left your office and they feel better about the whole thing, give them a proposal. The proposal needs the detail. One of my top clients, like 25 million turnover, regardless of how the meeting goes, just sends them a proposal. If you're going to send a proposal, send it home. Don't send it to work. So when they get it at home, it's open, it's on the kitchen bench, and this salesperson's husband says, well, what's that about? And she says, oh, this is ABC Realty. They really want me to come work for them. He goes, well, you're always moaning about where you are. Why don't you give it a go? So you get them involved, and that we can make that even deeper. So send it home. It's got a start date on it. Names their role. It talks about specifically the things they're missing. The auction, I'm guaranteeing that room you picked out will be available for the next 2 weeks. I'm going to pay you 55%. I'm going to pay for the first 3 months of a PA. So we talk the things that they're missing in the proposal. We talk numbers. Expect what I would expect you to do. I obviously can't guarantee it, but my plan would be to get you as far towards $1 million as we can get you. Put it in the offer, for goodness sake. Then you do those 2 things that we did in raising the bar, why you should come work with me, and 2, what I'm going to give you. I'm going to spend $3,000 on social media. We'll get all your cards printed. Everything will be done, ready to go. You'll be on the internet. You'll be this, and this, all taken care of. And don't forget, first 3 months, you get 90% of what you list and sell just to make up for the listings you're leaving. So you get the proposal to them. So some of this takes time, and we've already talked about the fact it can be 2-3 years. I can tell you that one lady who joined me, Jeanette, early, in the end, I first spoke to her something like 15 years before, when she finally came up the stairs to my new office and said, I'm so sick of these clowns. I want to come work for you. She came in and just after a month said, I'm home. I have no idea why we took that long to get together. Maybe I was slack, but that's how long this can take. She became just the best team member. She was in charge of social. She became a personal friend. Just a great lady. It took 15 years. So what happens is when we go and have morning tea or lunch with these people, they go onto our pipeline and we keep the communications open to them. And if you're really smart about this, you virtually start to manage them. If you see a video from me or a video from another coach that you like or a book, drop it off to them. Send and say, hey, did you see this? Did you see so-and-so talking about this? I think this applies to you. You just start working with them. So every week in that 2 hours that I've already talked about, you look at your pipeline of 20 people and you just find something to send them, some way of communicating, some way of working with them. If you can, and this is a game changer, get them to your house. Get them to your house. If you can find a reason to say, why don't you come and have a drink? Hey, I'm just sitting here. I know you have Thursdays off. What are you doing? Come around and have a beer. Hey, we're having some friends around. I really enjoyed talking to you. Do you want to come with me? Get them to something that means something to them, like a sports game. Hey, I've got tickets to NFL tonight. I know you love your NFL. Do you want to come with me? Suddenly everything changes. Meet their partners. Go out of your way to get into their house. So I'm just coming by. I've got a proposal for you. Any chance I could meet your husband? Yeah, walk straight up the door. Hi, how you going? How are you feeling about all this crazy stuff? Yeah, I wanted to change. Oh, that's fantastic. If you can leave and that husband says, he's a really cool guy, that's enough. She's coming. That's the deal. That's how this works, right? So get to their house. If you could end up going out with the whole 4 of you, you and your partner and her partner, fantastic. Do it. Do personal stuff. Invite to training. If you were having me down or any other coach trainer down, just invite them. Say, look, I don't know how this would work, but you want to come sit in the back? And you might find they go, oh, wow, we don't do anything like that. Yes, I'll come and sit in the back. Get a relationship with them where you can just call and say, hey, did you see this happen? How are you going to? See, you got that building. I see you took that house. Good luck with the auction, eh? Go to the auction. Go to the auction and see how they go. Fantastic thing to do. Beware what your team says is a biggie. Now, there's 2 parts to this. The first one is your team will say, we don't need any more people. When you start to grow your business, they say, we don't need any more people, and they start talking about baking. They talk about pies. you're just cutting up the pie even more. The answer to that is we've got 8% market share. We should have 25, and you guys, you're doing your best. It's not working. I need more people. So that's the answer to that one. The second one, though, beware what your team says, because in a lot of cases, they will simply say, we're not having him come and work here. That guy's an asshole, right? He tells fibs. Excuse me, he's number one in the area. He's doing $1 million and he wants to come work here. Well, we don't want him here because he's just not cool. I've had several meetings with him. He's met my wife. He seems like a really good guy. Yeah, but he'll cut you out of commission. That's the game. That's the game, for goodness sake. So you beware that they don't talk you out of this. And the lady that I was talking about, Jeanette, early, when she said she was going to come, my whole office just went, no, if she comes, we're leaving. I turned them round and she became a friend to everyone. She's the coolest chick. And she just became a friend to everyone. So things, Chinese whispers, things just get worse and worse and everything gets pumped up. Don't let that happen. Don't allow that to be the reason you don't take somebody on. So let me talk about those that you're in doubt about. If you've got 3 salespeople you're concerned about, you're on the fence about, first thing I would do if I bought your office is put them through a Caliper profile. So you're going to put them through Caliper. If it comes back, you've got 3 of them. If it comes back and 2 of them, one is a 65% match for sales, the other's an 85% match, and you can see it, it's working, fine. If the third one you're really in doubt about, and they're a 15% match for sales, do yourself a favor, just move them on. I get so many apologies where people walk up to me at seminars or email texting and they just go, I'm so sorry, you told me this person wouldn't make it. I went against your advice and it took me 8 months to get rid of them. Don't do that. So Caliper first, and we're left with 2 now. The 2 that you're left with, what I would do with them is bring them into your office and say, guys, we need to speed this up. The jury's still out. It's not working, but I believe it can with you. And what I want you to do is I want you to do Quick Start. It's my program with time management, with every script, dialogue, listing process that they need. So I'm going to say to them, put them on it. And I would say, you can pay me out of your 3rd commission. So you don't have to pay now, but you're going on it and you'll pay out of the 3rd commission. By the way, I'm not particularly here to sell you Quick Start. If you're one of my beautiful coaching clients, you can give it to them. You know that. But don't do that. These people have to commit. So they come in and they're sitting in front of you and they're all happy because they're still here. And you're going to say, no, I need you to commit $600. I'll take it out of your 3rd. If one of them sits and goes, I don't have that sort of money. So hang on, I'm taking it out of your 3rd commission. Oh, but right now I've got to... You're getting an indication of why they're not making it. If the other one goes, yeah, that's fine. Do it. Give it to me. I'm into it. You're starting to head through to the point of there's only 1 left. So Quick Start, they do that. The next thing you're going to do is mentoring them. There is a video on YouTube on how to run one-on-ones, on how to coach somebody in a one-on-one environment. You're going to start doing that. And in that video, I show you how to burrow down, right down to a real accountability deal. And you're going to coach them either in, they respond and they get going, or out. And I have a system that I teach in strategic leadership, which is if you've got somebody that has been there a while and they're just not responding to anything, then you simply micromanage them in or out. And you have to be careful because you can't do constructive dismissal. But we're trying to coach them in. And how it goes is you simply say each night before you go home, you're going to bring me tomorrow's plan, 20 minutes by 20 minutes, where your prospecting is, where your door knocking is, where the meetings that we're having, all in there. And then, so you bring me that, and the following night, you're going to tick what you've got done and drop that on my desk and give me my following day's daily plan. And when you start this, you stay on it with them. This is when you don't mind if they leave or they stay. They're either going to fix themselves or they're going to leave, I promise you. And most of them will leave. So you simply say, bring it in 5 o'clock each night. The first night you ask for the plan, they'll bring it. It'll be all written out beautifully. The second night, it'll be a bit late, but it'll have some stuff in it. It'll be things that are ticked and things that are crossed. And you simply say, why did you not do that hours prospecting? I got really busy with this, and this. Now you can start to coach. And you really stay strong on this. Say, no. Once we set the plan for the day, I need you to stick to it. I need you to get these calls done. So tomorrow, try harder. About the third night, it won't be there. And you'll ring them and say, what's going on? They say, well, no, I just came straight home because I had an open day around the road. No, that wasn't our deal. I need you to come back in. We need to go through your program for tomorrow. You stay strong on this. They will either start to respond and get the calls done, the listings will come and they'll be off, or you will see that it's just not going to work. And about day 4, they'll throw their hands up and say, I'm not doing this shit, and they'll leave. Let them go. That is the process that I would go through for those that I'm not sure of. The last part of this is marketing to the whole community around recruitment. And I guess my question for you is, if I go to your website, what do I see on there that says, 1, you're hiring, and 2, what sort of company you are, and 3, what is my pathway into real estate? What if I want to talk to somebody about changing companies? How does that work? Because I'm telling you, 99.99% of this industry has nothing. Dumbest thing I've ever seen. Here's what I think you should be doing. So take a look at this. So you need a landing page, and here's an example of one here. You need a landing page that's got this sort of thing on it, thinking of a career in real estate, working successfully in real estate, but there's a better way. Use all the pain points. And the ads that I talk about are in raising the bar. So you use all the pain points, all the ads, make them into videos and put them on social media. So this is the landing page you need, and RDA can build that for you. Click the link below if you want to talk to them about building this. So anyone who clicks on it, anyone who's looking at getting in from brand new, anyone who's looking at getting in from another company, clicks on it, we gather them in an audience. We make these ads. Ad 1 is you're already in real estate, but there's a better way. Ad 2 is you're working in sales, making $200,000-300,000, and you want to see how that translates into real estate. Number 3, you're working for someone and you're just not appreciated. Come and see us. When they click on those ads, it takes them to the landing page, to the website where they're captured in that pixel. Now you build an audience, and this audience could be hundreds, it may even be thousands, you have no idea. But most other agents will click on something when they see it, when they see that video. As you talking about some of the exciting things you're doing, or the fact that you've just stopped selling and you're looking forward to a career now of coaching and training. They click on it, gathered in the pixel. Now we can go back to them. Now we can remarket. Oh, hey, we just had a visiting speaker. Peter Gilchrist just came to our office. This is a little snippet of one of the best things he said. People start clicking. And now you're talking to the industry. Invite to training. Hey, we've got a speaker coming. If you want to come, just ring and I'll put you in the back of the room. Long-term communications. This is how it works. Now, RDA is the name. There's a link down the bottom. Click on it. That will take you through to Paul's diary, and he can talk you through how this works, how much you have to pay to get this done. This is a no-brainer. Absolute no-brainer that this is not on every single website in the country. Listen, if you like anything that I've said about attracting people and the basics of recruiting, then make sure you click subscribe, because my next video is going to be the same sort of thing, in depth, on how to attract the right new people, select the right new people, and then get them trained. It's a massive video, and I know you don't want to miss it. Look forward to talking to you then.